I see you. I see.
I bring it down like.
I see you. I see.
I bring it down like.
Lofi Poli Sci, Michael Pickering, bring it down lo-fi like for you with what's going on in the world today. And we got that lo-fi local for you up top real quick. Don't forget, every Thursday, Lofi Poli Sci's weekly blog drops on lofipolisci.com. And add us on Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn to get all your local lo-fi Season 8 updates, people. You dig it, you dig it. Like yesterday, we took the day off, and that was posted all over those places, so you would have known. And our first live show of the season coming up October 5th. We'll be dropping flyers and adverts for it real soon. But today, we're bringing you the 10 lowest countries in the world by GDP, aka Gross Domestic Product. And our data come from the World Bank and are for the calendar year 2022 because 2023 GDP can't be calculated until 2023 is finished. And a refresher for you from last week when we did the top 10 GDP countries. A simple definition of what GDP is. GDP is all the money people make in a country from selling goods and services within one calendar year, and that amount is measured in US dollars. And for the longer, more official definition, please see the World Bank and revisit last week's episode. Now let's dig on in, my friends. Top 10 countries with the lowest GDP in the world. Number 10, Samoa, 832 million. Number 9, Dominica, 612 million. Number 8, Sao Tome and Principe, 546 million. Number 7, Tonga, 469 million. Number 6, Federated States of Micronesia, 427 million. Our top 5. Number 5, Marshall Islands, 279 million. Number 4, Kiribati, 223 million. Number 3, Palau, 212. Number 2, Nauru, 150. And number 1, Tuvalu, the lowest GDP in the world in 2022, with a countrywide income of $60 million. And that's that. And already I think you can see a trend in the data that is our list. Geography, right? Population, maybe, right? Size. Remember our first 2 lists of this season? Countries by size, smallest versus largest. This list, definitely see some of those smallest countries on it. And check the list for largest countries in the world and look at last week's list of highest GDP countries. But hey, let's do some math here, because we all like numbers and stuff, numberology. So let's remember that last week we said that the planetary GDP for 2022 was just over $100 trillion. $100 trillion. And we said that the top 10 countries made up 66% of that $100 trillion. And our 10 countries today, guess how much percent they make of that? Collectively, our 10 countries with the lowest GDPs in the world, they combine to make up close to $4 billion a year in 2022. So what percent is 4 billion of 100 trillion? I'll give you a couple seconds. What do you think? $4 billion. What percentage is that of 100 trillion? Gotta be small, right? Got to be really small. You think it's more than 1% or less than 1%? What do you think? 50-50? It is less than 1%. Our 10 countries today combined make up about $4 billion. They make up 0.003815% of the planetary GDP. 0.003815%. These 10 countries versus last week's 10 countries made up 66% of the world income. Those 10 countries were Italy, Canada, Russia, France, UK, India, Germany, Japan, China, US, make up 66% of the world's income. The 10 countries today that make up less than 1%, 0.0038, Samoa, Dominica, Sao Tome and Principe, Tonga, Federated States of Micronesia, Marshall Islands, Kiribati, Palau, Nauru, Tuvalu. Go over these lists in your head, people. Write them down. Look at them. Pull out a map. Do whatever you got to do. Check them real quick. There's some major implications for global power dynamics, looking at the distribution of wealth across these 20 countries. But hey, that isn't the full story, not by a long shot, because GDP is a great measure for a country's income, but it's not at all a great measure for personal income inside of a country. For instance, what would happen to these list of countries if we, I don't know, maybe take into account population size? Yeah, you already know. But do you know the extent of it? And what this really truly means for development across our planet? Next week, 10 countries with the highest GDP per capita. Week after, 10 lowest GDP per capita. And we'll see just how these lists change, as well as our own perceptions about who's really all that developed. But that's next week. And this, just a snap of what's going on in the world today.
I see.
I bring it down like.
Lofi Poli Sci is more than just me. It's the we that we be. Pickering, signing off.